Who is that person? I don't know, but that's another eerie detail. If you don't know, now you know. Okay. If that's not black excellence, I don't even know what to say. Like, what it is, what it ain't, it's your girl, AMBREALERTT, and I am back with another video, okay? Okay, I've been waiting a little minute to do this video because I want to make sure I got all the facts, you know what I'm saying? So today we're back at it. This is going to be another Hollywood control video, okay? In this video we're going to talk about Marilyn Monroe and her crime scene. We're going to talk about the things that have contributed to her death, and we're also going to try, if we can, answer the question, what really happened to Marilyn Monroe the night that she died, okay? So I have a lot of notes about that, along with this book that I've used before in one of my Marilyn Monroe videos. I think it was just one video, but this is going to be the source for all my information. It's going to come from this book. This is from the National Enquirer's Secret Files on Marilyn's Shocking Scandals of Her Life and Her Death. So I'm going to be using this book right here, this magazine, as a reference. I forgot where I got this from. Maybe, yeah, I forgot where I got this from, but my mother got this for me because she knows I'm into like old Hollywood glamour and stuff like that. So I am going to be reading from my notes, but I am show you guys what's inside of here. So if you're ready to hear about what's going down, what really happened that night, what really happened to contribute to her death, August the 5th, 1962. Let's get into the video. I am AMBREALERTT. If you don't know me, this is my channel. We get into stuff like this all the time. So if you're ready, make sure that you like, comment below, and you subscribe to this channel as I'm throwing the facts at y'all. And we'll see what we come up with at the end of the video. Make sure that you're live in the comments. I will be answering you guys as usual, and we can talk further about this. So let's get into the video. Make sure you subscribe. We're almost at 400 subscribers on this channel. That's a huge milestone. I've been working really hard. Y'all have been working hard watching my videos, so I appreciate y'all. Let's just get it on. Let's do this. We're going to take this back to August the 4th, 1962, the day before she passed away. So I can even, you know, sum up a couple of things that happened before she died. She was working on one of her last films, and I believe she got fired from 20th Century Fox. She got fired because of how she was behaving on the set of her last movie, Oh, Something's Gotta Give. And she kept showing up like drunk and off of pills, and she wasn't really ready to, you know, do her scenes. It was just a whole mess. So she did end up getting fired, and I think she got sued. They still came out with the movie anyway, but they had to, you know, omit a lot of the scenes because she kept coming up drunk. Well, leading up to her death, she did have a lot of nightmares in the months before she died. On the day before she died, and her handyman Norman, he was saying, I had never seen her look that way before, and that she was suffering from nightmares leading up to her death, and physically and mentally she just looked sick. Her psychiatrist, Dr. Ralph Greenson, came over and saw that she was heavily sedated. So she had bottles and bottles of pills, and her pill of choice was Nembutal barbiturates, which is supposed to, I guess, it's a lethal drug though, and it's supposed to put you to sleep. And then she had pills to wake her up in the morning, and then she was mixing those with alcohol, which you're not supposed to do, with champagne. So she did that like every day. He was trying to, I guess, get her off of those pills and switch her to chloral hydrates to help her go to sleep instead of her using those drugs. But Marilyn Monroe wanted to do what she wanted to do, okay? So she wasn't trying to hear all that. They said that the night before she died, she talked to Joe DiMaggio, who is the baseball star. She talked to his son, Joe DiMaggio Jr., at 7:15, and he was talking to her about some girl he was interested in or whatever. And she seemed to be in good spirits, and then at 7:45 her mood started to change, and Peter Lawford, a friend of hers, wanted her to go out to a party, but he said on the phone, he called her around 7:45, and he said that she sounded out of it. He could barely hear her on the phone. I think she had like, she was, you know, falling asleep and stuff, so she was kind of out of it. Later that night, you know, the housekeeper and the handyman, they didn't hear from her until the housekeeper found her body lifeless in the morning, like early in the morning. She changed up her story. She said that she found her at 12 a.m. and then she changed it to 3 a.m. So that's a little fishy right there. So we're going to talk about a lot of the eerie details, you know, that were involved in her death. They found her body. She was dead at 12 or 3 a.m. I don't know what's wrong with Eunice. And she was pronounced dead by the Los Angeles medical examiner when the police and, you know, the ambulance and everything came to her house, which was at 12305 Fifth Helena Drive in Brentwood, California. So Sergeant Jack Clemens got a phone call at 4:25 from an anonymous person saying, and I quote, "Marilyn Monroe is dead. She committed suicide." So who is that person? I don't know, but that's another eerie detail. So after scoping out the scene, which the FBI and the police department anywhere, they just weren't good. Like, people back then in the 60s and the 50s, they just had no idea about stepping on evidence, about what is evidence, what's not evidence. Like, they just weren't doing a good enough job for me. So after conducting their, you know, investigation, they found that it was probable suicide, meaning they didn't know if it was suicide or not, but they just put it on paper. On the crime scene, which I could show you. At the crime scene, this is what her bedroom looked like. So she had clothes on the floor. Her bed was a little messy. Down here, and you see that the window is broken into. The psychiatrist said that he did this because he couldn't enter her room and it was locked from the inside. So he broke the window. And then here you can see that she had bottles and bottles of pills and papers. I think they said her room was full of scripts. Her scripts and stuff was all over the floor and along this table. So the pill bottles were here. They're all empty. And there's no like glass of water anywhere to be taking all of these pills. So that was something that was suspicious, and what they noticed is that, how is she taking these pills? How does she have these empty bottles? If she did take the pills, how does she swallow them with no water? You know what I'm saying? There's no water in here. And then I think they found a cup that she probably had for water, but it was empty too. So that was like their initial investigation. This is her actually, a picture of the real crime scene. So this is her and how she was found face down in the bed, her shoulders exposed. Picture, brace yourself. I'm sorry if this is triggering to anybody. I'm just about to let you know before I show you that this is a picture of what she looked like dead. So just brace yourself. It's just her face, but I don't want that to trigger anybody. But this is what she looks like dead. Kind of different than what you would imagine. Her body arriving at the coroner, the Los Angeles County Coroner's office, to be examined. So basically, when you get prescriptions, a lot of them come in capsules. So when you swallow it just with the capsule, it, you know, what's inside of the capsule dissolves, but the capsule itself doesn't all the way dissolve. It's like, you know, you can find it in the body if you're looking for it. And they couldn't find that. So her body was empty. There was no pills in her body at all. So some people were saying a conspiracy was that she was injected with something via enema, which basically means up her butthole. Somebody injected her with something lethal up her butthole. And she was known to take a lot of enema for dietary, you know, reasons. So to lose weight, she was, you know, getting certain things put up there. I don't know what it was. Don't give me the line, which you're not supposed to do, especially if you do it a lot. You're not supposed to really do that. Also, y'all noticed she had an affair with both the Kennedys, okay? So she had an affair with the president first. And then when she was starting to act all crazy and everything, and she kept calling the White House, thinking that they were going to end up together, he called it off. So he asked his brother. He was like, "Hey, yo, bro, I need you to go take care of that." You know what I'm saying? Like, tell her I'm not interested. Tell her stop calling. Then Bobby went to her and told her it was over, and then he started smashing. So both of them had smashed her, right? So when Bobby didn't want her no more, he had to let her down too. And that's probably something that made her a little unstable, is that, you know, she basically had sex with two of the most powerful men in the United States, and it didn't work out. So she did threaten to expose the Kennedys for whatever they told her, you know, pillow talking. And she said that she had a diary, that she wrote down some secrets. And then I think in the previous video, I did tell y'all she recorded some secrets about the Kennedys. She threatened to do a press conference and release all of the secrets that she was told by either both of the Kennedys or one of the Kennedys or whatever. Basically, she was threatening to take them down. Personally, I think that she should have just kept that to herself and still did it, but not tell them so that they could be caught off guard. A lot of bad things happen when you tell people what you're about to do and they don't like it. That's when a lot of people end up getting killed, mainly women. Interest by the name of Ralph Greenson. I'm gonna have to look him up and do another video because he is said to be a shady individual. I don't know why, but I'm gonna find out in the next, you know, Hollywood Control video. I'll break that down. This is something also that was eerie, was that, you know, other than the conspiracy of the Kennedys, like could the Kennedys have killed her? It's very possible. Also, it says something that the psychiatrist and Eunice did not call the police immediately. They waited like an hour later to call the police. They said that they had to get permission from 20th Century Fox to do that. And y'all would know if y'all seen my Hollywood Control videos that a lot of the old stars back in the day, they did have to like basically ask the studios for permission before they did anything, because it was a reflection on the studio and made the studio look bad. Although I do partly believe that, I do feel that that isn't true, because she already made the studio look bad because of her behavior on Something's Gotta Give. They already was tired of her. She got fired already from 20th Century Fox, so I don't think that they told the truth. Either one of them. I got my eye on Greenson, the doctor, the psychiatrist, and Eunice. I don't know what Eunice was doing. And Eunice said that she was up doing laundry at like 12 or 3 a.m. Who does that? Who does that? She said she was up doing laundry, and then she just so happened to try to knock on her door, and she didn't get an answer. And so then she called the doctor, and then he had to break in, and then they found her. But I don't know. And back then, they just said probable suicide to everything. Like, they didn't really do an investigation. So, also, Frank Sinatra was also a buddy of Marilyn Monroe. Well, Sinatra and Marilyn Monroe did the nasty probably a couple of times, and it's said that he might have set her up as well. I think, you know, maybe a month or maybe some weeks before her death, she went into a cabin, and she was with Frank Sinatra, and it said that they were trying to get her, you know, messed up off the drugs and record her to basically embarrass her, just basically blackmailing her. So it kind of, I think some people from the mafia was there too, recording her, you know, while she was drunk and stuff like that, trying to make her look bad. It said that the Kennedys may have talked to Sinatra and told him to do that. I don't know. It might be a connection, because I think the Kennedys and the mafia were linked back in the day. Earlier on the day before she died, she did tell the psychiatrist that she flushed all her pills down the toilet, which I do believe, and I do feel like she had a lot of things going for her, so she didn't really have a reason to commit suicide. I don't think that she wanted to die. I don't think that she committed suicide, leading to my opinion. I think that it's possible, like, I believe almost 85% that the Kennedys had something to do with it. Maybe even more than that. Maybe a good 90%. I think that they had something to do with it, because Marilyn Monroe, she just didn't have no filter. And she was going to tell it like it is. And I know that because of the things that she's done while she was alive. Like, she was open about her wholeness. That's the thing. You know, you knew what you was getting when if you fucked with Marilyn Monroe, then you knew what you was getting into. And how can you not respect that in a woman? Like, somebody that's gonna tell you, hey, I done let this one hit, this one hit, this one hit, but I would let you hit too if you play your cards right. You know what I'm saying? Do I think it's responsible, her behavior? No, absolutely not. But she is who she is, and people love her because of her sexuality and how fluid she is. She did have some things lined up. She was going to be making her own like movie production company. So she was making her own movie production company. She was going to do a lot of things for women in Hollywood as far as getting their fair share of money, and, you know, creating opportunities for other women, and just being in more movies. She had a lot of stuff that she was planning to do. So I don't think that she committed suicide. But based off of what I said to you guys, what do you guys think? Some of the eerie details, just to remind you, is, you know, pill bottles, you know what I'm saying? And that there was no water there for her to swallow those pills. And the fact that her stomach was empty. Before her death, she did write details about the White House that nobody knew, and she was planning to expose them. Expose the White House and the Kennedys. Is it possible that she was murdered? Bobby Kennedy was actually seen at her house twice within the hours of her death. Someone actually said they heard a helicopter land, like, right in her yard. Is it possible that he killed her, or did he hire the Secret Service to do it? Some of her file cabinets were actually broken into as well. So I definitely think that they might have had something to do with it. Is it ironic that, you know, the president at the time, JFK, was killed a year later after her death? I think not. Who was the caller at 4:25 in the morning? Who was the anonymous caller? You know what I'm saying? Why did Eunice change her story and say that she saw her at 12 o'clock in the morning and then say she saw her at 3? Why would she have been up cleaning the laundry at either of those times? Does that even make sense? And we all know that, you know, Marilyn Monroe has a history in her family of mental health issues. Why wasn't she on bipolar medicine? You know what I'm saying? Her mother was a schizophrenic, and she was taken to a psychiatric hospital when she was just a little girl. So, you know, mental health issues, mental illness is in her family. And just because it was her actual mother that had a mental illness, I doubt that she didn't have mental illness herself and just either was in denial of it, or didn't want anybody to find out. I don't know, but I definitely think that she has some type of split personality disorder, or that she was bipolar, just didn't know how to deal with it. Maybe even mildly schizophrenic. Like, I feel like it was one of those three. And I feel like that's probably what sent her into a deep depression, is not having the right people to talk to without being taken. And she was taken against her will to a psychiatric place. So she probably felt like she didn't have nobody to run to or talk to, you know, given her condition. What do you guys think? Make sure that you leave me a comment below. Do you think that she was murdered, or do you think that she committed suicide? Based off of this topic, based off of this story in general, what do you guys think? I'm interested. Let's talk in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. It's Ombre Alert. Let's get my channel to 400 plus subscribers. Let's do this. We on it, we lit, and we popping, okay? I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.